What's up guys, welcome to the video. Today I'm going to be taking you through what I eat in a day to get shredded. Right now my calories are at about 2,100 calories, which is about 500 calorie deficit, which is pretty big for me. Usually I start around 250 and then slowly work my way down. But right now I'm starting with a little bit deeper of a deficit, that way I can cut a bit faster. My goal macros for the day are 160 grams of protein, 240 grams of carbs, and 59 grams of fat. Today's New Year's Eve, so I'm actually going to be trying to get in a bunch of protein early on and then get my carbs right around my workout and then save up a bunch of fat for later on because we're going to be having dinner here at the house. We're going to make up some food. I'm also going to be making a cheesecake too, so I want to make sure that I save the majority of my fat for later on in the day. What I'm gonna do is make up my breakfast right now. There's gonna be like a pre-workout meal. What I really wanna do is get probably about like 45 to 50% of my daily carbs in around like the window around my workout. So pre, intra, and then post-workout. So this meal is gonna be a bit carb heavy. For protein, I'm gonna have one of these Profil protein snacks. This is basically like a Greek yogurt from Finland. They're really good. There's a few different flavors. Some of them are more like a pudding texture. This one's a bit more like Greek yogurt, kind of thick. Then I'm also gonna have a couple slices of this flax bread that I got at Ordinabiji. This is really good. It's a selispuri. Actually really high in protein too. I was pretty surprised. So for 2 slices, it's 101 grams. It's 11 grams of protein. So I almost have 30 grams of protein between these. I'm gonna put a little bit of butter on top of the toast, and then some banana, a couple dates, and some honey. What I'm gonna do though is actually toast this right here on the burner though. We don't have a toaster. And then I'll show you guys what it looks like when it's all prepared. This is what the final product looks like. I tried to spread the butter pretty thin and the honey pretty thin as well. And then I sprinkled a little bit of sea salt on top. And this is the consistency of the Mango Profil protein yogurt. Pretty thick. So less than a half a gram of fat. That full meal ended up being 30 grams of protein, 82 grams of carbs, and only 7 grams of fat. Now I have 52 grams of fat for the rest of the day. That's gonna be the cheesecake and then whatever we have for dinner. So very solid. That was my goal with breakfast, keep the fats down, get in a good amount of carbs to be able to fuel my workout, get a good pump, and have enough energy for my workout. And then get a decent amount of protein as well. Now, time to get the workout in. I ended up having to run a few errands before going to the gym, so I grabbed one of these protein shakes. This is a Parmalat Stay Strong protein drink. I got vanilla flavor. I also had a couple graham crackers. The protein shake is very similar to a Core Power if you're in the United States. About 30 grams of protein, 28 grams of carbs, and just over a gram of fat. Back from the gym now, guys. We actually got the cheesecake underway in Mike's kitchen. What I'm doing is actually a double layer cheesecake. So we've got one layer of traditional cheesecake, and then on top is gonna be a pumpkin spice cheesecake. First we're gonna add the traditional layer, and then we'll use the remaining part of the cheesecake and add the pumpkin and the spices and cinnamon. This is actually a baked cheesecake too. I've made it a couple times and it's super good. I made it one day and then I think I got the ingredients for it the next day, made it again when the missionaries came over for dinner. We still have some pumpkin in the freezer and we're gonna make some more. Since we've been in Georgia, I've actually started baking a little bit more. I found like some copycat recipes for crumble cookies. So I made some pumpkin cookies, snickerdoodle cookies. Both turned out amazing. Oh, I like to make muffins. So I found this recipe on the internet for the best muffins ever. And they're actually, might be the best. They're pretty good. Kind of reminds me of that scene in Elf where it says world's best coffee. And he goes and tries it and it's disgusting, but it's just advertising. But this is actually the best muffins. Here's the first layer. And we'll add the pumpkin. After the gym, I had a cottage cheese bowl, mixed in some fruit. This is the cacho. It's 0% fat, so very high in protein, minimal carbs. I like to have cottage cheese and just mix in some fruit, maybe some honey. Sometimes I add in peanut butter. A great way to get in a bunch of protein. Then I also mixed in a persimmon. This is, in Georgian they call it a hurma. Then I added a couple sucralose tablets. I also added in the rest of the banana that I had earlier. Total macros, 50 grams of protein, 61 carbs, and 2 grams of fat.
Just got a little bit longer until dinner, guys. We got the food in the oven. Cheesecake is getting ready in the refrigerator. In the meantime, I'm just gonna be having some CLA with carnitine, snow cone flavor. Today has been a little bit more difficult just because I was eating protein and carbohydrates. I didn't have a lot of fat. Usually I like to have fats. It kind of fills me up and just feel like a little bit more focused. But I just wanted to show you guys that you can have an enjoyable meal on the holidays, whether Christmas, New Year's, or like if you're going out on a date with your wife, that you guys can have a good, enjoyable meal and still hit your macros, still make progress on getting shredded. I was actually thinking back to my first and second show that I did as a fitness model. I was working at Olive Garden as a server. So just a few days out from my show, I was working, 8-10 hour long shifts, passing out, chicken Alfredos, fried lasagna, cheesecake, all sorts of like yummy food, and I couldn't eat any of it. So it was pretty difficult. So I've kind of learned how to be around food and not give in to like the temptation of going way overboard on your macros. One of the nice things about working as a server.
I got lost tonight under the stars up in the sky. Directions hard to find under the stars up in the sky. I got lost tonight.
So this is the size of beefsteak that I've got right there. Got some mashed potatoes, some grapes. I've got a little bit of pomegranate juice with Sprite. And then for dessert, we've got pumpkin cheesecake. The swirl cheesecake. Look at that. What is it?
Taste test.
All right, let's see what Matt thinks. 1 to 10.
10.
The dinner turned out really good, guys. The only issue was the beef. It tasted like a Michelin tire. Other than that, everything was great, though. I didn't have a very big slice of cheesecake either, just kind of a small one, but slightly biased, so I'm gonna give it a 10 out of 10 as well. What do you think, babe?
It's really good.
Yeah?
10 out of 10.
10 out of 10?
Yeah, it's delicious.
All right, guys, that was a realistic what I eat in a day to get shredded. Not every day are you gonna have time to cook and have a bunch of meals prepared or have protein powder or a bunch of like high protein puddings or shakes, things like that. Since we had a big dinner, it took a while to prepare all the food and do the shopping. I didn't really cook lunch, so I just had like that big, huge bowl of cottage cheese. And then got to the end of the night, still needed a little bit of protein, so I didn't really hit my macros perfectly. But speaking of protein, 1UP Nutrition is dropping a new clear protein on the 3rd. So by the time you guys are seeing this video, there'll still be a couple days before the launch. They've got a few new flavors. They got mango Italian ice for the clear protein. And then they also got a sour strawberry pre-workout dropping as well. So I'm excited for both of those. So if you guys want to check that out and use my code MW to save you 20%. But that's going to wrap up the video, guys. I hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you guys in the next one.